Okay, we are back from a 5-minute break, and can I have a first and a second to reopen the town board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Good, all in favor, all opposed?
Aye.
So move, and in case you're wondering if there was a change, I was actually testifying before the legislature, which is a good thing to do for our town, get more funds. In either case, we're moving on, we're in the middle of public hearing number 4, and we have somebody at the podium.
Hi,
Good
good afternoon.
afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. My name is Olivia Andriacchi. I reside in Baiting Hollow on Edwards Avenue. I just want to add one point to what George, my neighbor, was saying that about our steep driveways. Oftentimes, we're pulling out of our driveway and it's hard to see behind us. I would hate for there to be a vehicle in my way or trying to park in that area that's designated. I'm the house that actually is where the right-of-way, where the right-of-way is and the parking by permit ends. So to extend it from there, the road begins to elevate, and as George stipulated, the curve is very, very steep and blind. I would say it is a public hazard to do such a thing. I just want to bring to your attention that there are residents that could not attend this meeting. They too have expressed that they do not wish to have this amendment, and they too have expressed how much of a public issue that it has become. I remember, and I'm going to close with this so that my neighbors can speak, about 3 years ago on Mother's Day in 2020, one of our residents suffered a massive heart attack and died. I have to say that on Mother's Day, many people like to frequent the beach. I'm very happy to know that there were no parked vehicles to block. At least 15 emergency service vehicles were there in order to emergency response to this individual. I was very proud of the town of Riverhead. I was very proud to be a member of this community. I often stop and think, especially today in light of this amendment, what would have transpired had cars been lined up around that blind curve, up that steep hill. So I ask that you consider that. Consider the safety of the residents that live on Edwards Road, on Edwards Avenue, and most of all, consider those that frequent who love to visit us. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
comment. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Glenn Ashton, and I am a neighbor in that neighborhood as well in Baiting Hollow. And I oppose the proposal to allow the additional parking for several reasons, some of which echoes what George and Olivia just said. It's a 2-lane, very steep road with no shoulders, very limited sight lines, which is hazardous without additional parking. By adding parking on that section that George was pointing out, you're just making it into a 1-lane road essentially, and you're making a treacherous road very hazardous for vehicles and pedestrians alike. Not only that, as everybody else has said, for police, fire, other rescue equipment responding to anything in that area, their response time might be slowed because of that. People driving with boat trailers trying to navigate that turn with cars parked, it's a problem. I think the parking that is currently there, even with the loss of 2 spots, is more than sufficient for the size of the beach that the town has. It's essentially a 50-foot wide beach with a boat ramp. And, you know, I think I've counted there's probably room in the parking spot and along the permit allowed area for about 18 cars, which I think is more than sufficient for the size of the beach. It's not really a beach in the common sense in that we don't have a lifeguard, we don't have, you know, lavatory facilities. It's more like a public access and boat ramp. And I think by adding additional parking, it's also not only hazardous, but you're making this beach into something it's not intended to be. And my final thought is that I think the town should ban parking of any sort on, you know, past the permitted parking on both sides of the road, all the way up to Silver Beach Road, which is the next road up. And I would thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Yes,
Glenn.
sir.
I want to piggyback on what Glenn said about the size of the beach there. At high tide, Glenn, sometimes you can't even walk the
Yeah.
beach because it comes right up to the bluff. So it really is not much of a beach at all. It's certainly not something that should be open to the public. And if it is, it should be limited because of certain things that you brought up. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hi, I'm Bill Talmadge. I'm from Bating Hollow. I am the Vice President of the Bating Hollow Beach Association. I have lived in the summers down there for 66 years. I've lived full-time down there now for almost 8 years. This is an extraordinarily bad idea. In all the years I've been there, I don't think I've ever seen all the town permit required parking spaces full. Not on 4th of July weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, and the reason is just because, as the previous gentleman said, the town beach is 50 feet wide. The boat ramp, because trailers go from side to side, got dirt to help stabilize it, is 20 feet wide. There's no beach to sit on. And if you have more parking spaces, what I'm worried about is next you'll be getting pressure to get rid of the boat ramp. I can't tell you how many people I have saved over the years by launching my boat when that southwesterly is blowing, and in fact, I got saved when I was about 7 years old by a neighbor who put his boat in and came out and got me. One day I was down there and a woman had a little, maybe 3-year-old in a little inner tube, and she turned around to get something from her blanket, and the southwesterly was blowing strong, and the kid was 100 yards offshore and on his way to Rhode Island. And I put my boat in, and if that baby had let go of that inner tube, that would have been it. And I had a little 13-foot whaler, I put it in and went and got him. No, that wasn't in the news. It happens I can't tell you how many times that has happened. And if there's no boat ramp there, in fact, if you call the police, they'll come down, they'll say, oh, we need the fire department. They'll call the volunteers who'll go to the firehouse, get the boat. I saw them get it stuck trying to put it in the water. The local residents know what they're doing, and they just go solve the problem, and you never hear about it. So the boat ramp is very, very important. There really is not a beach there. And to add more parking spaces will put more pressure on the beach. And then people will say, well, we got to get rid of the boat ramp so there's more place to sit on the beach when there isn't a beach there. I tell you what you do need. The town is getting outsmarted every weekend, almost every day down there. People come out with a couple of vans, and they drive down to the landing, and they unload coolers and fishing poles and about 15 people from each van, and then one guy gets to drive the van up to the top of the hill where there are no parking signs and leaves it there. And then they go down the beach, and they stay there for 2 days. And there's like 30 people. And from what I've seen, they're catching illegal porgies, buckets of illegal porgies. Where do they go to the bathroom? And there's lots of garbage, and you can see Wildwood State Park from there. It's only 3/4 of a mile away. It's the same beach, same fish, same everything. Why are they coming there? These are people from out of town, from New York City. They don't want to pay the per head cost to get into the Wildwood State Park, where they have playgrounds and paved parking and bathrooms and everything else. And the town, we see it all the time. And so that's a problem. And so what you really need is no parking signs, heck, all the way to Sound Avenue. And you have to enforce it because there is no public beach down there. And there is a 2.5-mile long state park beach just down the way with all the facilities. They just don't want to go, and they don't want to pay. So we see this all the time. That's the problem that needs to be solved. We don't have a problem with Riverhead Town residents not having a place to park down there because there really isn't much to park for. So hopefully we'll get this fixed and move on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill.
Anyone else want to come forward on this? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Robert Skinner, Jamesport, and as Monty Python used to say, and now for something completely different. The map that was up on the on the board before. I don't particularly need that, but as I read the struck verbiage, that's the first part of this on the long form, it says to the effect, actually quote it off of here if I can get this to go, from the mean high water line of Long Island Sound southerly for a distance of 234 feet, but not to prevent the use of the boat ramp. So if I put my back to the high water mark, and this is how this reads to me, and I want to make sure that this is not, I want to make sure I'm incorrect. If my back is to the high water mark, the way this reads is that those parking spaces that you park to the west are now eliminated because it's struck, okay? So we're not just eliminating the way this is written to the letter of the law, this is now eliminating those X amount of parking spaces that are on the right-hand side of that, on the west side, whatever you want to call it, which would go then and tee into Edwards Avenue. So, as someone who's been fishing those beaches since the 1970s, and no, I don't live on Edwards Avenue, and I don't live in the community. I am a Riverhead Town resident who pays his taxes, buys his permits, and everything else. I want to make sure that I'm not going to get shut out of those spaces. And the parking arrangement that goes up what is referred to as the west side of Edwards should be clearly signed as permit parking, and the other side clearly signed as non-permit, as no parking, as they are in many of the road end beaches in South Jamesport, okay? And make sure it is clear and make sure that it is enforced. The loss of the 2 parking spaces that are immediately adjacent to those 2 houses that are on the west hand, the east side, okay, going down, is, I guess there's no other way around that. Because again, as you put your back to the high water mark and look straight up, assuming that the yellow post is the legal boundary line for that property, and that their rock little line that's there is correct, then I see why, in terms of the struck sentence, it does impede the boat ramp if you were to park there, okay? So that makes sense. But the way this is worded makes it seem as though those parking spaces are eliminated, and I want to make sure that that is not the case. So however this needs to be reworded and put in there, because this will get, you know, if this is approved by this board, then going forward, for the people that have historically used that to fish. And I'm not talking about illegal porgies in a bucket. I'm talking about coming down and transiting and going to structure that you can't get to otherwise legally below the high water mark and everything else. All this stuff that historically has been done and is legally done and we've been permitted to do. To lose that opportunity, I don't think is something that we should be looking at doing. I fully understand the angst of the people that have spoken before me. I am past president of the Herod Point Civic Association. My parents were the initiators for a beachfront facility in Brookhaven Town, and my family has had property on the water in Mattatuck. So I know fully what goes on. But what I'm saying is I think we need to have stronger verbiage in here to assure that we're not losing those parking spaces there. Personally, I think if you're losing those 2, you should pick up 2 elsewhere. And I'm not saying directly in line. I'm saying maybe it has to go up to a place where it is a little bit more safer, okay? But certainly this needs to be reworded to reflect that in the future, if somebody doesn't come along and say, well, there's nothing there about parking, because this is how things have been lost in other sections.
Bob, I just want to clarify that you're a great asset to us on the beach committee. You show up at our meetings and you have a lot of input. You know the beaches, you've used the beaches and worked the beaches for years and years. I completely agree with you on the wording on this. I don't think it was the intention to lose any of those parking spaces that are down at the actual beach itself, other than the two on the east side. That was not the intent of this, and I think we do have to word this a little bit better to clarify that we are not omitting those parking spaces that are on, I call it the blacktop area, the hardened area there where there are actually marked and lined stalls. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, but we were not looking to get rid of those spaces. Right, correct, just the two on the east side. So it would be a loss of 2 parking spaces down there, and honestly, in hearing from the residents, and I know that road well, to continually add 2 more spaces going up, I think we're better off just losing the 2 spaces, being that it is not an overly crowded beach at most times.
All right. Well, if that's put in there, then I think this is
Yeah,
something
I
that
agree,
we
the
need
way it
to-
reads is, it can be determined that those would be alleviated, and that's not the case, that wasn't anybody's intention.
Okay, so then, other than that,
We will have to change the verbiage and clarify.
all right,
Okay, Mr. Skinner, you raised some valid points, and thank you.
thank you.
Have a good afternoon. Anyone else want to come forward? Does the town board want to add any other comments? Good?
I
Okay.
want to thank all my neighbors for coming
Yeah,
out today.
absolutely. They had
Got to
very
see him in
valid
his
points.
leprechaun jacket.
This is the purpose of public hearings. This is what it's all about. This is why we don't put it up saying it's a done deal, it's gonna be. We put it up to hear from the people and then make a decision based on everything. So this was great. It was a great turnout, and thank you for coming down and letting us know how you feel.
Okay, we're going to now close the public portion section of this hearing, and it's going to remain open for written comments until 4:30 PM on St. Patty's Day, March 17th, 2023, at the town clerk's office. And it's going to conclude our public portion of hearings today on this meeting, concerning this meeting. I'm going to digress shortly. I know we have some individuals here before we get into the next section. We're just going to stop here, and I'm going to deviate slightly from the resolution agenda and call for comments on Resolution 182 of 2023, a resolution to dedicate and name the skate park at Stotsky Park in honor of Wesley Ackley. Resolution,
See you for coffee one
actually,
morning.
it's Resolution 182 only at the present time. And I know Councilman Rocco has been working on this, and Councilman, can you take it from here, please?
Yes, we can just give a minute for those so we can kind of get a little quiet down a little bit. Those that are exiting will pause for a moment. So we're honored to have Wes's parents here today, and so I thank you for joining us. And so just to go out of sequence, to spare them the lengthy normal procedure of governmental resolutions and comments. But as we know and we spoke about during the rec session, Wes was a remarkable young man that came forward to speak out on something which he was very passionate about, that was skateboarding. And the skateboard has their own community of friendship involved that travels maybe from different towns and different areas, and they periodically get together. And Wes was an advocate for the skateboard park that was built here in Riverhead, an advocate in making sure that it was free to the residents in the town and to outside residents, because I think there's a little bit of a skateboard network where they kind of go around and share within the different parks in different towns. And he wanted to make sure that his town was available to offer this incredible skateboard park as other towns did in the area. And what was really great is that as remarkable as he was as a young boy, it teaches all the other young boys and girls out there to step forward, to come forward and to speak about something you believe in and speak about something you're passionate with. And so being that he was such a great advocate for the skateboard park, It is an honor to suggest that we name the park after him. Sadly, very sadly, Wes passed away just a short while ago at the age of 27. And so we lost him. So this is a great way to keep his memory alive. And I also give condolences to his family. It's a very difficult day because Wes's grandfather passed away just yesterday. So I wish he could have been here to see the unveiling of that sign. And I also want to thank Lisa Weedell is here to support them as well. And I know we're gonna establish a beautiful sign up at the park, and we're gonna allow the family to pick a nice, beautiful day, a nice sunny day out there, and we'll invite all of Wes's friends and family and relatives and people within the community to be there for the unveiling of that sign. And so that I hope to be a positive day. But I hope that you find solace today knowing that Wes was there to greet Kenneth, his grandfather, and so now they're looking down on us together today, and they will sharing the joy of honoring Wes today. So maybe his grandfather just wanted to be with him alongside for that. And so again, my condolences. But if we want to just give a moment to offer anybody who wants to come over to speak about it, and then if it's okay, Supervisor, can we just maybe read this resolution in full, and then before we vote on it?
Yeah, absolutely, and again, thank you for coming, especially under these circumstances, ma'am, and I hope to be joining you and sharing in that special moment. It's the least that we can do. And he left a hole here, you know? He definitely made a point, and he says, this is where it's going, and this is what we're gonna do, and there's room for improvement. When I say make a hole, it's let's go, we're gonna fight it, and we're gonna go forward, and thank you again. And yes, you can read the resolution, and we can take a vote on it.
Do we want to do comments first, or go right to this?
Oh, did anyone want to come up and comment? I didn't think so. Okay,
Okay.
we're fine. Mr. Skinner,
Comment on this resolution?
Yes,
Just
just
this
on
one.
this one.
Yep.
just this resolution. I promise, you'll be coming back up.
So just like, because I think the resolution is very profound, and I thank all my council members, thank you, Madam Supervisor, as well. Resolution to dedicate and name the skate park at Stotsky Park in honor of Wes Dean Ackley. From time to time, the Town Board of Riverhead has seen fit to name certain public parks and park improvements in honor of outstanding members of our community whose exemplary lives should be celebrated and recalled fondly by our residents of the town of Riverhead. Where Wes was one such devoted member of our community who was passionate about skateboarding up until his passing on January 24th, after battling a rare form of cancer which affected his spine. At the age of 14, Wes advocated for recreational opportunities for our community, and in particular successfully petitioned the town board on the January 2010 town board meeting by letter and in person to abandon its plan to raise fees for use of the skateboard park. Wes was not only passionate about the skate park and his role to halt increased fees and its use, he was humble about his letter and advocacy, and gave credit to his English teachers for teaching him and providing him the skills to write the letter read to the town board and audience members at that January 2010 town board meeting. While Wes was civic-minded, he was also creative and intellectual, even submitting a word which is accepting into the slang word phrase, the website Urban Dictionary, Dexus, okay, that's saying it right, meaning extreme freshness, unfined, mysterious style, and swagger. In 2013, Wes graduated Riverhead High School and continued his education at New York City College of Technology, receiving a bachelor's degree in human sciences. After graduating from New York City College of Technology, he worked with IKEA Network, one of the leading organizations dedicated to providing a range of services to those in need, including housing, workforce development, and education. Where it is the desire of the entire town board to name the skate park at Stotsky Park, the Wesley Dean Ackley Skate Park at Stotsky Park, town of Riverhead, to commemorate Wes's contribution to our community, his civic endeavors, and his unique Dexus qualities. The town board here names the skate park at Stotsky Park, and the town will memorialize this dedication and naming it with a plaque at the skate park. The town clerk is hereby directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the town board coordinator and so forth. So, at this time, I would like to make a motion.
Second.
Take a vote, please.
Kern,
Yes.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Absolutely.
Aguirre.
Yes, and if you'd like a copy, an adopted copy of this resolution, the town clerk, can you please send a copy to the family?
Certainly, yes.
It'll say adopted on its official legislation.
You want to forward just for a moment?
And if
Okay.
we have a long meeting today, if you want to leave after this, it's fine. And that way you can go, and I know you're dealing with an immediate loss, and it's fully understandable.
You want to just come up just for a moment, and we'll just, at least we can all say our congratulations to the skate park committee.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Sorry for your loss, man.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now going to take public comments on any of the resolutions before us today. Do any members of the public want to come forward to discuss any resolution before us today? Okay.
Hello again.
Hi.
Robert Skinner, Jamesport, Resolution 186. I am not an expert on how these things work, so I'm going to ask questions that may or may not be applicable. The full scope of the proposal for this hearing, the Diamond Estate expansion, where can I go to see that in its totality? Is that in the planning department? Is that,
Or if there's litigation on this, can you advise Mr. Skinner?
With
Do you have any
respect to the new
information on-
application,
He wants to,
well, I
Can you
guess,
repeat the question?
I guess it's a new
I'd
proposal.
ask Matt,
Somebody's gonna come up, Rob. He's gonna come up.
as to when the complete application is available to the public.
Okay, thank you.
oh, okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again.
Raise that mic there, buddy.
How's that?
Okay.
Good? Okay. So, yes, that's correct. There's litigation involved on this project. The town has received a special permit application for expansion at Car McVeigh. They're currently in court, and the town is working with the applicant to come to a solution on this. So part of that is to schedule a public hearing. We are still waiting for some documentation, but in anticipation that we're going to get that prior to April 4th, the judge wanted to see that, we're making progress on this essentially. And I don't think I've said anything that's incorrect,
I
Eric.
think to answer his question,
yeah.
the
Where to get the information?
the application
When
will
will
be,
the
will
newest
also be
application-
published for the site plan, everything should be published along with this public hearing. So this is just not a public hearing, it's not to approve anything, but
Correct.
all these documents should be made public to you to review.
Yep.
So that you can comment during the public hearing.
Correct. I know there's additional copies in the town clerk's office. We do review it for the town board. I have digital copies that I can make available.
They will be available.
Absolutely, they'll
At
be
the
able,
public-
at the public hearing.
Obviously, when you post for the public hearing, they will
Correct.
become available.
Yeah, which, as proposed at this time, obviously hasn't been voted on yet. It's not until April 4th.
Okay, and
We got
it's
some time.
scheduled, and this is working in conjunction with the court?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
And this is the planning department.
Yeah, you can get it from planning or the town clerk's office, either one.
Okay. Then in that case, thank you for scheduling this public hearing, and we'll see you there, and thank you.
Sure, thank you, good afternoon. Next, anyone else want to comment on any resolution before us today? Good afternoon, Kelly.
Good afternoon, Kelly McClinchy, Manorville. I have questions about Resolution 179. So the last meeting, on February 22nd, I had sent an email to the board regarding Resolution 145. Is 179 replacing 145 now?
That's,
Yeah.
it's a community development agency. Devin's gonna get Dawn,
Okay.
Kelly, okay?
Okay.
Is she coming in? Kelly, I think we might want to go to the next person while we, okay, you'll be next. Anyone else want to come forward on any matter? McAuliffe, it's not a meeting without you.
No, I'm giving something.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John McAuliffe
Dawn
from
is here.
Okay,
Roanoke
just go next.
Landing. You want to go,
No,
take
no, you
that?
can
Okay.
finish.
First of all, I'm very glad that you did not proceed with the battery resolution. I think that the community feels it's necessary, and I have myself mixed feelings about it. My son, who works in the energy department, is very concerned that people don't recognize the infrastructure that's going to be required for us to have a green country. So, any rate, but I think proceeding in due course with full hearings and discussion of it's very important as
Yep,
as we
and we
go
plan
into.
to have a work session.
Yep, okay.
Absolutely.
What I particularly wanted to bring on the resolution is something I raised last week, or last meeting, which is 177. Again, with no objection to your going ahead and approving or doing whatever you have to do to go forward with the racetrack project, but I'm still curious whether the town has any knowledge about what the profit figures are from these series of drag races. I mean, it's now a quite substantial business. Do we know how much is being made by the owners of this company? Should that be a factor in the charge that the town has for using the facilities? So it's really just a
That's
question.
private, yeah.
Yeah, John, we didn't go into the agreement with a revenue share, so we have we don't know the numbers, nor do we need to know that. We went into it strictly with a lease.
Right, but I'm saying maybe as you go into this
License,
each
sorry,
year,
license.
as you go into this each year, given that it's become a major event, whether you should do a revenue share on it, or if not a revenue share, make the fee something that's more appropriate to the amount of revenue that it's generating,
Sure.
and therefore help the town budget by
When you-
having not just private profit, but community profit.
Understood.
When you have a private lease agreement,
License.
a
License,
lease
it's a license.
agreement, well, some of the licenses are, you can make money also, right? So there are funds. We would have to look at all of them and treat them and say, well, we gotta take a percentage. It's a special permit, it's a short period of time. We would have to do that, take money from Alive on 25, Andrews Run.
No, this is a
All
private
those-
profit venture. This is not Alive on 25 as
Yeah,
a
but this
community
is
event.
also, to a certain extent, it's the bid, it is. In either case, we're not gonna get back, we'll let the attorney
Okay.
address that.
And
But,
I think-
Mr. Scalzo, did I just see him? You wanted to speak?
But this, just for the record, this one is about Scramble, doesn't it? Doesn't.
This
it's
is
not-
the
it's not
Scramble.
Mr. Scalzo's
Okay.
Yeah.
event that you're
you
referring
just-
to,
no.
speaking about? So
I'm referring to last time it was about,
You said 177 Scrambles, what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's-
That does not pertain to Mr. Scalzo.
So were you talking about racetrack, not street, or you?
well, I think it applies to both of them. It applies
this
to
is
any.
comments
What
on-
resolution are you speaking about?
Speaking to the resolution which has to do, it's
177.
177.
That is
That it's-
Scramble,
You're
that's
right,
not
it's
Mr.
Scramble.
If you wanna bring back
But-
racetrack, why don't you bring it back under, general comments?
Okay, all right, well, I mentioned it 2 weeks ago in passing, but I just think that the issue of principle of how public land is used and the balance between private profit and public gain should always be raised.
Okay. All right, Kelly? Thanks.
Okay. Does resolution 179 replace 145?
The original resolution's going to be withdrawn. We meant to get that resolution to withdraw in today to you before we adopted this one. We'll handle that as housekeeping at our next meeting, I think.
So the answer is yes.
Another, just a comment about 179, and this actually remained the same from 145. The amounts for congressionally directed funding received already is still inaccurate in the resolution. In 2021, it was 3.5 million. In 2022, it was 2 million. So that needs to be switched.
Yes, that needs to be switched.
And then one of my last questions is, how did the total cost increase go from 11 million in the resolution on February 22nd to 14.3 million in the resolution today?
Inflation. That's the resolution, this is the new cost.
Dawn, you need to get to the mic just so that
The
you...
old resolution had the incorrect old cost.
Frank, you want to come up and speak about the prices going up in your business quickly? Yeah, just a quick overview.
Emphasize quick.
But it came from Suffolk County Water Authority, right? So there's nothing we can do to change the fees
On the
are
map
what they
and
are.
plan.
Yeah.
On the map and plan.
Submittal was the Water Authority's $9.5 million quote. The first one was our quote that was significantly less but older.
Thank you.
I'm still a little uncertain on how it got to 14.3, because the last quote that I saw from Suffolk County Water Authority, in conjunction with the last quote that I saw for extension 95, which is River Road, doesn't really add up to 14.3, it's 13.5, so maybe I'm missing something there, maybe.
River Road was adjusted, even on our end.
Right. Okay. Okay, so my question then is, the resolution says 14.3 according to H2M, the town's water consultant. Is the town still consulting with H2M about the Manorville extension?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if the agreement now is that Suffolk County Water Authority is going to do that extension and they're coming up with the price, should
Where's
the
Anne
town?
Marie? Anne Marie has been, has,
The grant works, I'll be happy to do that. I think that will help.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let Dawn, yeah, that's...
So the congressionally directed spending, AKA Community Projects Grant, is a grant that comes, they call it an earmark. It's from our legislators at the federal government level. Once we make the application here and are awarded, there's a whole nother process through the EPA, and we spent an hour on the phone today with the EPA, Suffolk County Water Authority, and us. And the way the grant works is we continue to process the grant as a town grant, and then subsequently, the Suffolk County Water Authority becomes a sub-awardee to the town of Riverhead, and that's the way the grant gets processed. We have to do a NEPA, whole NEPA process, federal environmental process. We have to do a cost-sharing waiver process, which we are requesting because of the demographics of the community, and an entire application. So it's a complicated scenario, and we are in the middle of working with it, and we're working closely with Suffolk County Water Authority and the EPA.
So Dawn, if I can ask, for the sake of doing this resolution today, do we need to adjust these numbers?
No, the only thing we need to do is switch the 2 million in 21 and the 3.5 in 22. That's the only adjustment. This is,
Let's amend this resolution, we can amend it now.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
apologize for
All
that.
right, anybody want to go forward to request for an amendment, please?
Should we do it when we call out?
Yeah, when we're on
When we get there,
resolutions.
you want to do it when we get there?
Okay, we'll do it when we get there, but make sure we have the numbers in line.
I got marked.
Okay.
I think just so that I'm clear, like I understand what she's saying, but I want to make sure I understand what she said. So even though the total amount for the Manorville section is coming from Suffolk County Water Authority, you're still getting prices from H2M for that area? I think that's not what's making sense to me.
Okay, Anne Marie's gonna come forward.
Oh, okay, so H2M is doing the grant work? Yeah. Okay.
Frank, you really need to come up to the mic for the public.
Yeah, but I think Anne Marie can add to that, right? Yeah, she can. She's got the,
So as this town board is well aware, the Community Development Agency and Water District are working tirelessly to secure additional grant funding for the South Manorville area. Those grants require a certain expertise in which we rely on H2M. So are we still utilizing them? Absolutely we are. We want to put in the best applications we can.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly, does that help? Great.
It does?
Thanks.
Okay.
Great.
So be mindful if you're gonna come up for, the resolution on water, 179, that it's gonna be amended, so if you're gonna speak on it, speak on the amendment. Anyone wanna come come up and speak on any resolutions before us, including the water resolution? Anyone? Do we have anyone online? Oh, we do have someone. Reconstructed ankle surgery, and I'm halfway there.
Excuse me, you just need to bring the mic up so everybody can hear you.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Madam Supervisor, Town Board member, residents.
Your name?
Name is Ronald March, Manorville.
Okay.
I just had to talk to Kelly, my neighbor, about, she was just discussing water with you. At the rate we're going with this, you know, we dribble along here, we're gonna get maybe another $2 million this year. We started off with 6, we're up to 14 now. We're never gonna catch this thing. So in other words, we're never gonna get water. I mean,
We'll catch it and we'll get water.
you think so?
We're determined,
We will.
Oh,
we're
okay.
determined to do that.
Oh, okay.
It's-
Because in the meantime, you know, we're not as bad as East Palestine, Ohio, but, you know, this is one of the things that people know that we have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else? There's no one online? Okay, so we can move forward. And Diane, please call the resolutions.
Resolution 156.
Water District Capital Project 82224 budget adjustment. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 157.
Water District Capital Project, 82303, 203-213 East Main Street, budget adoption. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 158.
Water District Capital Project number 82302, 103 to 105 East Main Street. Suffolk County Tax Rank number 129.1-1-10, budget adoption, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please. Kern.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 159.
Cancels letter of credit posted by Novelli Contracting for drain layer in the town of Riverhead Sewer District. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 160.
Appoints automotive equipment operator. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 161.
Appoints automotive equipment operator. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 162.
Appoints automotive equipment operator, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 163.
Appoints a maintenance mechanic 1. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 164.
Appoints a minibus driver. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 165.
Appoints a justice court clerk. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 166.
Appoints a part-time court officer, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Good luck. Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 167.
Accepts the resignation of an automotive equipment operator. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 168.
Ratifies salary increase for Justice Court Director. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 169.
Authorizes the purchasing agent to attend the New York State Association of Municipal Purchasing Officials Annual Long Island Regional Conference. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 170.
Resolution accepting non-protunct the resignation of Conservation Advisory Council member Mike Diem, so moved.
Second.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes, thank you
Hubbard.
for your service.
Yes.
Sorry. Aguirre.
Yes, again, thank you for your service.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 171.
Resolution for repayment of wages made to employee in error. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 172.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for streetlight and traffic signal maintenance repair parts. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 173.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for food and meat products. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 174.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for Town of Riverhead EPCAL Emergency Access Road Project. So moved.
Second.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 175.
Approved special event, Chapter 255, application for the American Diabetes Association Tour de Cure. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 176.
Approve special event, Chapter 255 application, Suffolk County Drill and Parade. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 177.
Ratifies authorization for supervisor to execute, a license agreement with Scramble, Inc. to utilize runway at EPCAL. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Chief, I have a question on Scramble. Which runway are they using? They're gonna stay with that? And they're gonna keep the same conditions? Yes. Okay, because I didn't see the agreement. Okay, great. All right, yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 178.
Authorizes supervisor to execute an amended agreement with Civil Air Patrol. So moved.
Second.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 179.
Authorizes the Community Development Department to apply for Community Projects Grants Program, AKA Congressionally Directed Funding. Do you want to make,
Yeah, to make it as amended, right?
yeah, as amended. What's-
Okay, so we have to now,
what's-
we-
what's the amendments?
we identified the amendments.
Move to make
You
the
have it.
amendment.
2 million in 2021 and 3.5 million in 2022.
You're gonna move to add, to amend the
Move to make the
resolution.
amendment. Okay, I apologize.
Okay.
I make a motion to amend the outstanding resolution, please.
Yep, First and a second?
Second.
Okay. Good. Take the vote?
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes to amend.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes to amend.
Resolution 179 is amended. And we're calling it for,
Now we call it for vote.
okay. So 179.
So, do you want me to read it again?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Authorizes the
amended.
community,
Read it as amended.
all right. Authorizes the Community Development Department to apply for Community Projects Grants Program, AKA Congressionally Directed Funding as amended. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution 179 is adopted. Resolution 180.
Accepts donation for anti-litter program from National Grid. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Kern.
Yes, and I just want to thank National Grid for helping, I'm the liaison to that committee for giving us the $4,300 to support that committee, so yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 181.
Authorizes free beach stickers to veterans and volunteer fire and ambulance departments. So moved.
Seconded.
It's the least we can do.
Hang on one second, Supervisor. This was, we had asked for this to be amended to include the Manorville Fire Department, as they have jurisdiction in our town also.
Yep.
We included Riverhead, Wading River, and South Jamesport Fire Department. We need to include Manorville.
Okay.
I make a move to amend the resolution.
All right, have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, take a vote on the amendment.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes to amend.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes to amend, and we'll take a, please reread the resolution.
181 authorizes free beach stickers to veterans and volunteer fire and ambulance departments. So moved.
As amended.
As amended.
Seconded.
Okay.
As amended.
Okay, take the vote, please.
Kern.
Yes, as amended.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes, as amended.
Resolution 181 is adopted. Resolution 182 has been adopted previously, so we'll go on to Resolution 183.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a
Bob?
second. Yeah, I have it, thank you. Authorizes Lawrence M. Levy, DBA On-Site Productions, to provide additional audiovisual production services regarding the Board of Assessment Review hearing on May 16, 2023. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 184.
Authorizes the execution of documents for participation in statewide opioid settlement sharing agreement. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yeah, I hope any benefits could help CAP, so vote yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 185.
Accepts draft environmental impact statement, DEIS, for the site plan application of 203-213 East Main Street, 203-213 East Main Street, twice, Riverhead, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600, 129, 1-17, 18, 19, and 20. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 186.
Me, pays the bills.
No.
Oh, where's 186?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's me again. Schedules public hearing for the special permit application, Jamesport Manor,
So I
and
think we're going to 189.
Oh,
Yeah, mine's labeled 189 on the resolution.
something, do I have do I have an
Devin?
old one?
We're up to 186.
186, reread?
Yeah, he had the right one.
Okay. Schedules public hearing for the special permit application, Jamesport Manor, NKA Diamond Estate, 370 Manor Lane, Jamesport, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map 600-47-2-3. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes, the public hearing.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 187.
Is that going to be pays bills?
It is based
Yeah.
on bills.
Yes.
Pays bills, so moved.
Frank wanted to do that one really bad.
I don't know how mine got confused.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Okay, thank you, Diane. This is going to conclude our resolutions for today. And at this point, we're going to open up for public comments on any matter. On any resolution or any issues of concern. Good
Afternoon.
afternoon, how are you?
Claudette, I'm well, how are you? Claudette Bianco, Baiting Hollow. I know that you pulled from the list of resolutions the battery energy storage system resolutions. My question is, when is a public hearing going to be held on that proposed law?
We already held a public hearing on it. It's already been completed and closed.
When was that, please?
December
We can get you the date.
20th, I think. I
Okay.
believe it was December 20th.
And when are we going to hear the full environmental assessment and SECRA?
We are going to bring this up for work session, hopefully the next work session.
I think it's
That-
two work sessions.
A
right?
work
Two
session.
work sessions from now?
The 16th.
Oh, that's right, there's no work session next
May-
week, so it's going to be on the 6th.
But am I correct, there are no public comments at a work session? Is that correct?
Yeah, they're just reporting in their findings to us, yes.
Okay, but the public can attend.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is no more public meeting prior to your adopting the local law.
You can make a comment on open
But not a-
comments like now.
Yeah, but not in a meeting setting.
Comments on the
Right.
You
resolution.
can make, at the end of any town board meeting, you can make a comment on anything at all.
Okay,
But there will not be a specific hearing on that item as
that's
we
what I
already
was
had that.
asking. Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, have a good day. Anyone else? Anyone online? Oh, that's interesting. I thought it would happen, so. All right, that's it. Does the board want to comment on any matter?
Motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Okay, thank you, everyone. This concludes our meeting. Can I have a first and a second to close the town board meeting, please?
Motion again.
Second.
All in favor, all opposed, so moved. Have a happy St. Patty's Day.
Thank you.
Good week next week.